As Gaza starves, Hamas pays its own, in secret, with smuggled cash and black market goods. Civilians scramble for aid, while loyalists get envelopes of cash and food parcels. This is not just survival, it's control through scarcity. And the people of Gaza are paying the price. Despite sustained Israeli bombardment, Hamas has managed to keep its payroll alive. A senior Hamas figure familiar with the group's financial operations told the BBC that prior to the October 2023 attack on southern Israel, Hamas stockpiled approximately $700 million in cash and hundreds of millions of shekels in its underground tunnel network. These stockpiles were allegedly overseen by Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar and his brother Mohammed Sinwar, both of whom have since been killed in Israeli airstrikes. In March 2025, Israel announced the assassination of Ismail Bahoum, described as the head of Hamas's financial operations during a strike on Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. Israeli forces accused Bahoum of funneling funds to Hamas's military wing. The financial underground that sustains Hamas may be effective, but it is also deeply secretive, dangerous, and increasingly divisive. While the group maintains a network of payments and aid for its core supporters, the rest of Gaza's population is left to fend for itself. Israel's strategy to disrupt Hamas's economic engine, including targeted strikes on salary distribution hubs and infrastructure, has not ended payments, but it has added layers of peril to every transaction. In war-torn Gaza, even getting paid can mean risking your life. With the territory's banking system in ruins, Hamas has resorted to clandestine operations to distribute wages to its tens of thousands of employees. Encrypted messages are sent to mobile phones, sometimes to the worker, sometimes to their spouse, instructing them to meet a friend for tea at a specified time and place. When they arrive, a stranger hands over a sealed envelope filled with cash and vanishes without a word. But these covert transactions are fraught with danger.
Every time I go to pick up my salary, I say goodbye to my wife and children. I know that I may not return. I survived one strike that targeted a busy market in Gaza City where salaries were being distributed.
The Israeli military frequently identifies and strikes these distribution points in its effort to disrupt Hamas's financial operations. Even when salaries are received, they offer little relief. Allah, a teacher and father of 6, told the BBC that he received 1,000 shekels, about $300 in old, damaged banknotes.
No trader would accept them. Only 200 shekels were usable. The rest I honestly don't know what to do with. After 2.5 months of hunger, they pay us in tattered cash. I often queue at aid distribution points, hoping for some flour for my children. Most times I come back empty-handed.
The BBC confirmed that most Hamas employees are now receiving at most 20% of their pre-war salaries and only once every 10 weeks. According to the BBC, Hamas continues to pay roughly 30,000 civil servants, despite widespread destruction of infrastructure across Gaza. For years, Hamas has sustained its governance through a mixture of local taxation, international support, and clandestine financial networks. Prior to the war, the group collected heavy import duties and taxes from Gaza's population. Qatar has long been a major financial backer, while Hamas's military wing, the Qassam Brigades, operates under a separate funding model primarily supported by Iran. A senior official from the banned Egypt-based Muslim Brotherhood, one of the most influential Islamist organizations in the world, has said that around 10% of their budget was also directed to Hamas. However, wartime conditions have forced Hamas to innovate or exploit. Traders report being forced to pay inflated taxes, and the price of goods has soared. One of the most striking examples: a pack of cigarettes, once $5, now sells for over $170. Hamas is accused of stockpiling and reselling commodities at black market prices. As cash and food run dry, allegations have mounted that Hamas is hoarding humanitarian aid and distributing it only to loyalists. The BBC found credible reports that Hamas has diverted significant quantities of aid that entered Gaza during a ceasefire between January and March. These supplies were meant to reach a starving civilian population. Instead, many were allegedly handed out selectively or sold for profit. Israel has long accused Hamas of seizing aid, but for years, both Hamas and the UN denied the claims. However, in a recent admission, the UN revealed that 88% of aid trucks intended for Gaza had failed to reach their destination due to looting some of it by armed groups. The practice has generated fury among ordinary Gazans. Nisreen Khaled, a widow and mother of 3, told the BBC,
"When the hunger worsened, my children cried not only from pain but also from watching our Hamas-affiliated neighbors receive food parcels and sacks of flour. Are they not the reason for our suffering? Why didn't they secure food, water, and medicine before launching their 7 October adventure?"
Hamas's dual governance, civil and military, has long blurred the lines between legitimate authority and militant control. In wartime, the distinction has only grown murkier. While Hamas continues to issue pay packets and distribute food to its members, its critics say it is doing so at the cost of the wider population. Emergency committees set up to oversee food parcel distributions rotate their leadership frequently, reportedly due to Israeli targeting. But their selection criteria have raised eyebrows. Residents complain of favoritism, alleging that only families with known Hamas links receive aid, while others are left to starve. Inflation has rendered most salaries meaningless. Prices for essentials like flour have hit $80 per kilogram, while malnutrition is visibly rising across the territory. The BBC report paints a stark picture of life under siege and the price paid for political allegiance. Civil servants loyal to Hamas receive partial salaries in crumpled bills. Their families survive, just barely, on dwindling resources. Meanwhile, non-affiliated residents face mounting food insecurity, their only lifeline being sporadic and often inaccessible humanitarian aid. Even among Hamas employees, frustration is mounting. One man told the BBC he no longer sees the leadership as capable or just.
We were told we were part of the resistance, but we're being paid in worthless paper while our children go hungry.
As the war grinds on, the humanitarian crisis deepens. And beneath the surface of the conflict lies a brutal economic reality. One where the cost of getting paid may be a life, and where the line between survival and loyalty grows thinner by the day.